Good evening and welcome back. And sitting with me now is Ridditz from eXdee Gaming, one of the new guys on the scene, and have kind of caused a little bit of an upset at DGC. So, firstly, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So, you guys kind of came into DGC. You started a new MGO. Let's take that story and tell us how it started, basically.
So, the Dota 2 team, they're the old Energy Dota 2 team. So, of course, they decided to start their own MGO, basically pulling a team secret for those of you that follow the Dota scene. And then they approached me to say, please help us start this MGO, run this MGO. So we've got 3 of the players that are owners, including myself. So there's a lot of owners that are part of eXdee. But from there, we decided we want to build an MGO and grow the MGO, the way we want to. Not according to someone else, but the way we want to grow it, the way we want to play, and according to our values. So that's what we did.
So you guys kind of did well. Let's talk specifically Dota. For those of you that are watching, are the Dota 2 watchers, obviously. So, looking at these stats, you guys completely stomped pretty much everyone in your way there. 2-0, you 2-0'd pretty much every team all your way to the final.
I think this is, please, people on the stream correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time in maybe 3, 4, 5 years that a team has gone completely undefeated, not dropping a single game in 3 or 4 years. So very impressed with the Dota 2 team. A lot of old names there, names that people know, RDK, Impact, 225, Soda. We've got a very strong and a very well-known lineup, but eXdee is not a well-known lineup. So not a lot of people knew that, who eXdee was going into the tournament. And from the Dota side, of course, winning, going completely undefeated, leading up to DGC as well. We took every single tournament as preparation for DGC. I think we've ended in the top 3 in every single online tournament leading up to DGC, winning the last couple, including DGC as well. So basically coming off a roll of wins. And that helps confidence-wise.
Of course it does. Your CSGO team, on the other hand, had a little bit of they had a couple of good games. They ended up 4th in the DGC.
Yeah. I'm extremely happy. To be honest, no one gave them even top 8. When we went into DGC, we literally sat down with the CS guys and said, okay, so let's put up targets. Let's put up our goals. And don't think about, no, we want to win DGC. That is setting an unrealistic goal. You put goals for you for every single day so that you can achieve those goals. You don't work towards the end, you work towards the end of the day. And we worked towards top 8, we got top 8, we worked towards top 4, we got top 4. I'm extremely happy with the boys, they made me extremely proud, and I think it opened a few people's eyes.
How do you guys, let's talk 2017, going into this new year now. You guys have obviously had this whole year to reflect, you've done pretty well. Taking that momentum into 2017 now, kind of how are you going to begin? What are you going to do differently, obviously, to change that top 4 for your CSGO team, maybe into a top 1 or even into the Masters leg? And same can be said about your Dota side. Your Dota side have finished top of DGC. Masters are on the cards. How are you guys going to prepare for that?
Well, just quickly talking about Dota here, we haven't lost against WRG, I think, in the past 2 or 3 months. They won the Masters, so I'm feeling pretty confident with our Dota side. So putting that aside, from our CS side specifically, we're going to focus on the mental game. If you look on some of the service stats, so to speak, we have 2 or 3 players that are on the top 20 in the country, according to certain stats, sites, if I can put it that way. And the best thing that you can do there is work on the mental game. You've got the players, you've got the skill set. You just have to get all 5 players working towards the same goals, working towards the same objectives, and also having the same mindset. That way, the breakdown in communication doesn't happen. Everyone plays the same game, the same style. And I think that is probably our main focus for the CS side.
So in terms of your preparation for teams, is there a strict regimen that you guys stick to? Let's ask, how many hours a day do you guys put into the game, just to give the viewers out there an idea how much you're putting in? And that was for this year. What's going to happen next year? Yeah.
So our Dota guys, can go anywhere from 25 upwards to 45, 50 hours a week. Keep in mind, that is enough, or the same amount of time that some people have a full day job for.
Sure.
So it's at least 4 hours a day, Monday to Friday, Saturdays and Sundays. It can be anywhere upwards of 10 hours a day. Our CS guys, they had a rocky start. We had 2 brand new players coming in a week and a half before DGC and still ending top 4. Keep that in mind. So there's possibly one or two new players that are going to come in again. Once again, just strengthening the team, getting the team together, and also actually getting them to play in other online competitions like this competition today. Even, well, not this exact one, but any competition that you can play in, you have to enter, because that shows where you are, not just for normal scrims. Because a scrim, you can do anything, you can try anything, you could try any strats. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. It's not really that important. So from a CS side, the guys need to practice more, and they are, and they need to take part in more competitions as well. Leading into 2017 specifically, I'm looking forward to the Masters. We, of course, have not had the invite yet. We are hopeful, at least for the Dota team. So hopefully within the next 2 weeks, we'll know a little bit more what's happening there. And from the CS side as well, I mean, our Dota guys prove that they are with the right MGR. We don't have any sponsors. I know you wanted to ask me
I was
that.
actually going to ask you.
Okay,
Yeah.
ask me that quickly, because then I can continue.
Do you guys have any sponsors?
We do not, and there's a reason for that as well. We want to build up our brand to the top level, the best that we can at that point. Because if we sign a brand now, a peripheral sponsor that might, for example, lock us down so that we can't have anything else for the next 12
So what kind of
months.
sponsors would you say that you guys need right now?
Peripheral is nice. Our Dota guys, of course, winning those Alienwares, amazing. Winning the Razer gear as well. So they don't really need peripherals or PCs. Our CS guys would like it. Once again, it's not a requirement. It comes down to financial aid, because you need to be able to fly those teams up, to keep them relevant, to keep them in the competition. Once again, play every single
So how many
competition you
guys,
can.
I don't know these things, so I'm hoping that you can maybe enlighten us and the viewers. So how many players are like in Cape Town now? Would it be quite a difficult thing? Is it difficult right now to get your
We've got a nice
players?
split. We've got a nice split between Cape Town and Johannesburg. I think from Durban, or there's one player that's from outside of Cape Town or Joburg. So we've got a nice sort of 50-50 split, but it still takes quite a bit of money, because it's not just the players, it's photographers. You have to be able to give marketing for your partners and for your sponsors. Even, for example, coming into DGC, you need those photographers there, not just to market your team, but to market the event. The team can market an event and gives the event bigger coverage. The event grows, thus the team benefits.
Yeah, well, you're speaking really right there. I totally agree with you. So in terms of, next year's preparations, your CSGO team finished 4th in the DGC. It's not exactly Masters, because their Masters is a whole new, kettle of fish or beast, or whatever analogy you like to put. But in terms of the preparation, do you see yourself maybe looking at your CSGO team, seeing maybe who needs to be replaced or dropped down, you put in? Are you happy with it now? Or are you going to work with what you have and then call it from there?
Yeah, with the new players coming in, I'm extremely happy. I honestly do feel, and I'm a very realistic person, so I honestly do feel we should be able to beat a couple of the lower end Masters teams with these new players within the next month already. I, of course, want to challenge Energy soon for a CS, our CS team versus their CS team towards the end of the year or January. Just because we couldn't play them at DGC.
That's very interesting that you mentioned that.
I want to.
So just to fill you guys in quickly, I mean, the fact that their CSGO team didn't actually end up playing Energy at any moment in the tournament, who eventually won the tournament, and their guys coming 4th. So it would be actually quite a cool match, I think, between you guys. So I think we'll definitely set something up for that. We'll see how that goes.
Who knows, maybe Telkom can actually set up a nice little exhibition match.
Well, yeah, nice pushing for stuff. You're hinting right there. But let's take a step back quickly and carry on talking Dota 2.
Yeah.
So your Dota 2 team, I mean, did absolutely outstanding work
Extremely
at the DGC.
well,
Let's say you guys make it to Masters. What is sort of your prep to climb throughout the year? Or do you see you could just come in straight up and take that top 3 spot at the next competition? What do you guys think of that?
Looking right now, we are a top 3 team in the country. We've proven that over and over again in the online tournaments leading up to Masters. Basically, like I said, not losing once to WRG in the past 2.5 months. Beating Bravado 3-0, I think that was 2 months ago. Beating APG in an online tournament that happened just before Masters as well. So from my side, I honestly feel we're a top 2 team, but to keep it real, we are already a top 3 team. So there's no climbing from bottom, but there is climbing to the top. We're nearly there. We just want to be there.
Currently, you are one of 3 people that have co-founded eXdee. Four,
yes.
What are your guys' sort of thoughts and preparations leading for 2017? How are you going to grow the MGO? Are you going to stick with Dota 2 and CSGO? Are you going to pick up another game, maybe FIFA or something like that next year?
So we are, of course, already busy talking to a couple of FIFA players and possibly 1 or 2 other titles. The big problem is without that financial backing, you can have as many teams as you want, but then you start overextending yourself. You'll need to fly up. For example, let's say you bring in a Battlefield team, a Call of Duty team. You need to fly them up to competitions. You need to accommodate them. You need to boot camp them. You need to pay for their flights. It becomes a very expensive.
So what made you create this MGO?
The team wanted to go at it themselves. They had certain visions. That's 2 other players, of the Dota players. They had a certain vision which they wanted to achieve, and they felt that they couldn't achieve it without doing it themselves, and of course bringing me into the fold as well. So by doing it that way, we can build this MGO on our pace. When we're ready to add new titles, FIFA is definitely one of them. Keep in mind, adding a whole new title in is 5, 6, 7, 8 players versus adding FIFA is only 1 player. So that's why we're already looking into FIFA and looking at Dota and Counter-Strike. They're the top games at this point in the country. So we will focus on those. We will make sure we dominate there as much as we can. And then we'll start looking to branch into other titles, depending on how the scene, of course, grows.
Sure. Well, I think from my side, there is actually maybe perhaps one more question. In terms of the, your MGO now, what do you think for those of you watching out there, if they were interested in starting something like this? I mean, what does it take? What sort of preparations need to be put in place? What kind of schedule do you need to think about, like in terms of your own time? And
answer your question with a question. Do you sleep?
I do. So you're saying that you don't sleep?
Very little. Unfortunately, when you want to start an organization like this at the level that we started and that we kicked off with, I mean, you can have a look at our website as well. It's eXdeegaming.com. It's a beautiful looking website. It shows our stats. It shows our performance. Leading up to DGC as well, the online tournaments, you have to plan for everything. And it's not just, oh, there's a tournament, let's enter in it, and people will like come to you. Sure, after winning DGC, of course, there's a lot of partners and sponsors that reach out to you. But the biggest thing is you have to build a brand. And you do that with players. Known players that are doing well, you take them, you create a brand, eXdee Gaming. From there, you build on. Now you have to build the brand as well. So that means talking to partners, talking to people, talking to Telkom, seeing how you as a brand can get involved in anything. I mentioned it earlier on, having photographers come through, taking photos, actually telling a story of your brand. Not just rocking up to every single tournament, you play, and then that's that. You actually have to tell a story. So that people can attach it to something.
Well, let's hope that you guys tell a really good story next year. And I think for those of you watching out there, I think we need to show some love for these guys. Where can they, so for sponsors and for fans alike, if they wanted to follow you or get in touch with you somehow, where do they have to go to get that information?
So facebook.com/eXdee Gaming, I think. And of course our website, eXdeegaming.com. That's eXdee gaming.com. One quick thing, eXdee, of course, our short tag is the X and the D, which is an expression of laughter, and that is what our team is.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, well, with that said, Ridditz, thank you very much. Sorry, Ridditz, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And for those of you guys watching, stay tuned. We're going to be right back. We're going to be joining our casters on the desk shortly.
Amazing
Catch you soon.
Amazing casters.
Thank you again.
Cheers.